President Biden won't face charges for his mishandling of some classified documents, and fired Fox News host Tucker Carlson conducted a 2-hour interview with Russian President Vladimir Putin last night. Good morning. I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. President Biden won't face charges for mishandling some classified documents, but the U.S. special counsel investigating him criticized Biden's mental acuity in his final report. NPR's Asma Khalid reports that Biden held a press conference last night to try to contradict that impression.
The report describes Biden as a, quote, sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. The president responded.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet.
Biden was defensive as reporters asked him blunt questions like, is your memory getting worse? He's 81, and he often mixes up people and names. It even happened last night when he was responding to a question about Israel and Gaza. Polls have repeatedly shown many voters are concerned about the president's age. Biden's likely opponent in the presidential election is Donald Trump, who at 77 also faces questions about his mental sharpness. Asma Khalid, NPR News.
The U.S. Supreme Court heard oral arguments yesterday about whether former President Donald Trump should be excluded from Colorado's primary ballot. The Colorado State Supreme Court says he should be disqualified because his actions around January 6th amount to insurrection. Several U.S. justices, both liberal and conservative, questioned whether that should happen. NPR's Carrie Johnson says some of the justices are worried about the repercussions of Colorado's potential action.
The Chief Justice brought up the idea of other states engaging in some tit-for-tat, maybe blocking the Democratic frontrunner from the ballot by arguing he engaged in an insurrection. But the lawyer for Colorado voters said that shouldn't be a worry. This part of the Constitution, he said, has been dormant for 150 years because nothing like January 6th has happened.
NPR's Carrie Johnson reporting. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Moscow is open to negotiations that could see the release of jailed Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich. Putin's comments came in a lengthy interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. NPR's Charles Maines reports from Moscow.
Tucker Carlson's 2-hour interview with Putin saw the Russian leader make familiar false justifications for his invasion of Ukraine, yet it also provided Putin's most extensive comments to date on the arrest of Wall Street Journal correspondent Evan Gershkovich. When asked by Carlson if he would free Gershkovich as a gesture of his decency, Putin demurred, noting negotiations with the U.S. were ongoing. He then suggested Moscow could be open to a trade that included a suspected Russian government assassin currently serving a life sentence for murder in Germany. Putin also insisted Gershkovich had been caught red-handed gathering intelligence for the U.S. Secret Services. Gershkovich, the Journal, and the U.S. government all vehemently reject that charge. Charles Maines, NPR News, Moscow.
You're listening to NPR.